You're listening to the Hot Seed Podcast.
The Hot Seed.
Welcome all. I'm Sean, along with my co-host Earl.
Yo.
Dave.
Yes, sir.
And you know what it is. We're just dads with mics, gamers with headsets, and a whole lot of unfiltered conversation. And as always, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seed Podcast. And be sure to listen, like, rate, review, share, and most importantly, enjoy on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your favorite shows, and all those who's using iHeart Media. Shout out to y'all too. I've seen that in the numbers the last few days. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube at the Hot Seed Podcast. And this time I'm going to make sure I say it correctly, because last episode I realized I said the wrong episode number. Episode 143. Welcome back, folks. Thank you for tapping in with us. Gentlemen, welcome back. How are we feeling? We'll get this right, Earl. That's like 3 weeks in a row. Like, man, I don't know what y'all doing in Jersey, but y'all
sound like you need to do something new,
right?
Because that don't sound good.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a complimentary bottle or something, a Terramana or something. Jesus Christ, I know you drink water, but goddamn.
Yeah, man. Education ain't for the faint of heart. I tell you that. It ain't for the faint of heart. Nah, bro. I sent y'all a text message of a snippet of what my day was, and that's a good day.
That's not nothing about education. I mean, I guess it would.
Well, exactly.
I guess somebody learned something ill. But okay.
Man, listen.
I
don't know what I got to say. Spring break is next week. Just let me get there.
The crazy thing about that is that's not new. That ain't the first time we got that from you. Like, you know what? I might need you to change professions. Get your doctorate and go do something else, because I don't like this no more for you. I don't like it at all.
Listen, my end goal is, after I get this doctorate, I'm trying to do consulting work at the end of the day, because I can't. My time inside of a school building is coming to an end. I can't.
Low key though, with you having that, not no honorary doctorate, an official doctorate.
Oh, absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying. Low key, you might just be able to have your own podcast and just put Dr. Earl. I ain't gonna throw your government out there, and just have your own thing. And the fact that it says doctor, that may just be your whole. You make your own living. You're a doctor. People listen to that shit. If there's my mans who passed away, rest in peace. Some of the shit he was talking about, and they listen to Candace Owens and all these other people. I know they damn sure listen to somebody legit like you, and I'm just saying.
Yeah, just all I'm gonna say is, parents, just take care and treat your educators nice, because it's hard out here.
I thought you were about to say parents just don't understand, but hey, that's what I thought.
Yeah, some of them don't, but some of them do. They understand what they sending us. Some of them act like they ain't know what they was raising. And some understand what they dealing with, and they apologetic, and I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, it don't mean too much when you still got to deal with it. So
that'd be that badass kid. They get out there and apparently get you like, he or she usually don't act like this. You fucking lying. Yes, they do.
I didn't know. I didn't know that. Yeah, okay.
It's their first time. What's going on with you, Dave?
Good day, man. It was a good day. Cam on spring break already. So we actually just came back from Top Golf. So
love it.
It's a good day. Actually
love it.
Hit the back net 3 times. So the guy next to me, one of the kids next to us, was sitting up there. You know how I swing. and one of the kids next to us, he over there with one of his girlfriends, and you can see him just stop. He was like, damn. I was killing it, bro. I was killing it.
What's my man name? What's the dude in the gym that be cracking the Be cracking the balls in golf. Y'all know I don't know this
Oh,
dude.
you talking about?
Oh, no, I'm not him. I'm not DeChambeau.
But shit, if
Nah,
you hitting that
I'm
back
not.
net, you at least hitting almost 300 though.
I'm about to say how far is it? Oh, you said about 300?
About 3 times.
It's about 300. My man.
I did it. This was the thing though. Of course, I hit it with the driver once. I almost came close with the 3-wood, but didn't have control. 5-iron got there twice.
First of all, now you're showing off. Now you're showing off.
Dude, I was feeling good.
What's the max distance on the 5-iron?
Depends on how much you can hit that shit. To be perfectly honest, there's no max distance. How you hit it?
No, because
my best control is with the iron. So
because from my little bit of knowledge, and I played a 9-hole, 9 rounds. That didn't go well. But from what I know,
not first either. Don't worry about it.
From what I know that the driver is the one. I'm assuming that you hit the ball farther. Yeah, that's the one that you usually hit off of the tee, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that back net is actually 300. I would have to check.
No, but I think isn't like the longest flag out there is 270, right? And that's
I don't know. I would have to look.
I thought. So I mean, you damn shit. You're at least 250.
Was it going up?
Well, yeah. I mean, the 5-iron is supposed to get you at max about.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're hitting that back, you're at least hitting 250. You're at least hitting 250. I will say this: the most control to answer your question, Earl. The most control is going to be that 5-iron. So if he's hitting a 5-iron at least 250 yards, that's a problem. Trouble. So you can there's guys who do those long drive contests who end up driving like 450 yards, 470 with a driver. Yeah, because you get the most off of that. The iron, you're going to get shit. You can get 300. To be honest, if you hit it right, you can.
Yeah, they don't have the 4-irons there. That's what I'm going to
carry though. That's the entire carry. So that's the flight, and then when it hits the ground.
Right.
Well, I average about. I throw a strike ball, or I throw my ball for bowling between 17 and 18 miles per hour, and people are like, they know me.
This whole episode, disclaimer wise, beforehand, is no Diddy. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, no Diddy. Yeah,
you did me to
it. No Diddy.
Whole episode.
No Diddy.
Earl, so I'll see my man's name, but you whenever you hit a strike, you jump out of shit, be like, who do you think I am? Who do you think you are? I am. My man's the professional bowler, the white guy who just retired. I forget his name. He hit like he's on ESPN. I'm surprised.
The older guy?
Yeah, the older white guy, man. He been in jail for a minute, but his clip, his meme has been, who do you think you are? I am. I'm like, yo, that's the hardest line, even though the shit don't make no sense. I've seen you his clip after that.
Nah, they different, but yeah, they know I crack the pens.
Don't undersell yourself.
They call me Big Man Havoc that cracked the pens. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. I celebrated with my son this Saturday. About time his birthday actually fell on the actual weekend. My son Javen, man, he turned 19 years old, and we celebrated this weekend. We went and got first thing, the most regular thing. Hey man, you hungry? Go get some lunch. So we went and got some wings. So we're going to go to our favorite, my favorite restaurant in Towson, which is BJ's. But I didn't realize they had closed. I hadn't been there for a minute. They had closed. So we went across the street to the World of Beer. They have like 100 beers on tap. And we just got, I got wings and beer, and it was funny because the guy ain't even asked Javen for his ID, but I wasn't going to set him up like that because you just never know who be lurking. But did that. It was cool. Came back. And then I took him to his first ever NBA game. Unfortunately, yes, I am a Wizards fan. We are Wizards fans. So, but we went to Cat 1 Arena, got there early. I like getting there early, and we got the first 5,000 fans got Wizards gym bags, which was cool. And
there was that many fans in there.
It was packed in that bitch, and they only won 12 games all goddamn season.
What was they giving away again?
It's a free gym bag. It was cool. But this is the thing we did accidentally. So we walked in, we go down to 100 level. I said, no, we need to be on the 200 level. So we asked the guy, and he was like, well, go up the escalator. So we get on the escalator. The escalator takes you all the way up to the 400 level where all the commoners are. We got up there, the food be like, chicken strips, shit like that. Like, no, we need to go down. He said, well, you gotta take. He said, no. He said the escalator's only going up. You're gonna have to walk down the stairs. I'm like, damn. So we walked down the stairs, down to the 200 level, and that's where everything opens up. And if y'all remember when we went to the Washington Giants game several years back, when we went up to the club level for the first time, and remember the first level was all cement, that next level was all wood floors and shit, and we ended up never going out. That's how we felt at the Wizards. That's how he felt at the Wizards game, because I've been there before. You know, we went in, got poutine, love it. The beers were great. Everybody was nice and fancy. You know, it was good. It was quiet. Wasn't nobody up there. Bathrooms was clean. You know, shit like that. You know, it was right there by the suite. I was sitting there right at the suite, so it was fun.
You found out you brought your son out for some poutine for his birthday. All right, I see you. I see you.
But that's what I heard. You said poutine.
Oh, poutine. Man.
Yeah, it's food.
They actually won that night. The Wizards.
I mean, they both kind of go ahead.
Yeah, they won. That night. I forget the young man's name, but it was the season debut of their the European player who had like 21 and 10. But I will say this, and we gonna move on. I moved on past that, bro.
You ain't even see what he did. Go ahead.
I did. And again, I know that, and I'm gonna give out this disclaimer because people do listen to our pod, and then people start talking shit. But I'm gonna say, I know, you know, we're dads with mics and stuff like that. So I never played a day of high school, collegiate, or professional basketball. But I know what good basketball looks like. And y'all probably will agree. Jordan Poole is ass, bro. He is ass beyond belief ass. Like, I know there's been players who've benefited from the greatness of other players. Bruh, I'm not saying what Draymond did was right, and I condone that. But Jordan Poole is ass, bro. We watched the game. My son looked at me. He was like, how much we pay him a year? We don't pay him nothing. The Wizards pay him about $28 million a year for 4 years, and he is trash.
He should have played this position.
He is bad. It's bad. And when I say about trash, I don't mean like from a skill level. I'm talking about from an effort level. It was so bad. You know how bad it is watching basketball when you can tell that the other players on the team don't rock with you, because they were going down at points where Kyle Kuzma is the most popular fan. I mean, player. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Typically, who's the last person who's introduced in there at the starting lineup? Typically, the most popular player, right? You saw Chicago, it was Jordan, Kobe, in LA. The Knicks, who's that now, Earl? I don't know. But back in the day, it would have been Brunson. You know, back in the day, it would have been Patrick and stuff like that. You know, the first person they announced in the starting lineup? Jordan Poole, bro. And I'm like, oh no, this is not good at all. The last person announced was Kyle Kuzma. He got the largest ovation. And I watched, it was turnovers. He's just like, he's passive. He's wide open. Cats won't even passing the ball to him. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, he's ass, bro. And now the thing is, it's a guaranteed contract. So he's stuck there for at least.
I was about to say,
yeah,
somebody that's basically failing.
Yeah, and I'm like, he ain't failing, but I'm like, bro, you're not going to go anywhere because, you know, what they're paying you. Play. He was better at Michigan State, if I'm correct. He was much better in Michigan State. I know he's not in Golden State anymore.
Michigan State?
No. What Jordan Poole played in
Michigan.
Michigan.
My bad. He was better out there. I don't know. I'm thinking I got NCAA in my mind. It looked bad, bro. It looked bad. Like, it looked bad. So that's all I got.
He's a product of what surrounds him. That is honestly what goes on with Poole. So if he would have, not to go into a big conversation about Poole because he's not even worth it, but honestly, like Earl just said, if he would have played his role, you know, I think he would have been fine, honestly, in Golden State. He got a big head and was just like, I'm that guy.
Exactly.
I'm baby Steph,
right?
And you ain't nowhere near it.
Not nowhere near, bro.
And that's pretty much how it went.
Through the first half, I believe he had 5 points. 5.
Oh, I know, because I be betting on him, and I'm like, you would think him going to the Wizards.
We'll get later. You know what? You the reason why.
Buy those points by his money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I don't get it, man. Like, look, I know I was chanting Team Light Skin for a little while, but Jordan Poole, you fucking it up. This is the Hot Seat Podcast with your boy Sean Earl Dave, man. Episode 143. We got a lot to talk about tonight, man. And my first question to you guys, and we're gonna roll out to I don't know what's the best way to go about this. We could go either way. So let's go. Let's go on the I guess we're gonna have to go on the negative side, I guess, if you want to call that. Diddy, bro. Yeah. So unless you've been hiding under a rock, you can see that the Homeland Security raided 3 properties of Sean Combs, LA, New York, and Miami a couple of days ago.
Thought it was 2.
Homeland Security now. Like, just keep that in mind. Raided them all at the same time, which was wild. And during that time, I'm watching, it came through. I know stuff going on, but the live feed coming through, and I think the property in LA, a couple of people who were in the house got detained and got cuffed. And for what I understand, they were 2 of his sons. I hope that's not true, but that's what I got on this 2 of his sons, which is wild.
They're on video.
Which is kind of crazy. Now, mind you, Diddy won't there. So that in itself is just take that for what it is. But they were looking for things along the lines of he has not been in charge, but they're looking for things related to sex trafficking and such. Okay. Fast forward a little bit within the day and so forth. So one of his private planes was taking a trip through the Caribbean onto Antigua and so forth. It was grounded. It's been restricted to the Caribbean. He was not on the flight, but he was on the manifest, which is okay. And then, of course, good old TMZ showed him outside of Miami Airport looking nervous as hell. A couple other things about that. Of course, we saw the settlement between him and his former significant other and Cassie. They, she alleged certain things about him there, and they, next day they settled. And there's been a few other things come out. Of course, Ciroc, the parent company of Ciroc, severed ties with him. And most recently, he sold all of his remaining shares in Revolt to an anonymous buyer. And now it just don't look good for him. And it kind of all started, and I'm gonna hand it over to you guys. It kind of all started for me when we heard about him giving all the masters back to all of those former bad boy artists. Like, the good deeds started to happen, and then everything else started to fall out. So what's you guys' reaction, man, to what's going down, man, with Sean Combs, man?
Girl, you want it first?
No, go ahead, my good brother.
All right.
Before you say something, Dave said it already. There will probably be several no Diddies happening during this show, but so we want to salute to Philadelphia artist Quilly, I think he's in there, who actually registered the trademark for no Diddy recently. So salute to him for doing so. So let's let you know that we're not trying to take that, but you may see it. Some of that stuff is coming out. Just let you know. Keep going.
So I know I'll actually start off with that because there's so many different takes on this. So
yeah.
I'm gonna start off with the fact of joking going too far.
Got you.
I respect my man 50 Cent. You know he's a jokester and does different things, but this is a thing to shut down people's livelihoods. And there is something that he had correct in what, if you've been following 50 and his beef back and forth with Diddy and stuff like that. One of the things he said, and I do agree with this statement: when they raid your house, they already got something on you.
Absolutely.
You can't get approval for a warrant to go even to do that, right, unless you show a good enough evidence trail to go, this is why we need to go into these houses by any means necessary. So, yeah, that lets you know there's some type of trail there.
Right.
But that should be where pretty much everything stops, because no longer a laughing matter, no longer even a guessing matter. This joint here.
Yeah.
And they built, and also when you get to this point, they've been building this for a while. This ain't something that just popped up in the last couple months because you've been hearing it on TV and stuff like that.
Right.
They've been building this for years. And if you go back to one of our past conversations when we were talking about the Cassie thing, that may have been part of the reason why he's like, look, I just want to push this out to the side because I got other things coming, you know. The sad thing to me, and it's never to give any type of grace to anyone if he is found guilty of this, but you ever notice when people of our shade get to a certain status, they really have to tread lightly because it's taken away so quickly. Mm-hmm. And we bash on them so bad, but other people, they can do the worst things in the world and we don't talk about nothing. And it just baffles me. Like this Diddy thing, and I can name a couple other people that, you know, we're just waiting for the fuck up to happen. And then it's done. And not to put other people's names out there, there's other people of another shade that, man, they can do anything in the world. And they're still shining and they get chance 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm telling you that because when I'll go back to Cat Williams' statement. When he was talking about the gatekeepers and things like that, that shit is real. Take all the jokes out of his comment. I told y'all more than half of it was jokes, and another half was, yeah, I'm laughing, but this is real.
He said,
this is really what's out there.
He said 2024 will be the reckoning, man. Whether it was P. Diddy, TD Jakes, whatever, man, that shit hit different.
Yeah. And it's real, bro, because not saying he did it or didn't, because we really don't know until everything goes down. But like I said, they got to have a certain sense of evidence.
Right.
But you ever think to yourself, people that's holding those keys in their hands are just like, you getting a little bit too big for your britches, buddy. Let me just throw this on out there.
Yeah.
And who holds those keys? You forget. You know what I mean? That person forgets, and they're in their own tunnel vision. You know? So I just tell you to look closely at that. Not just with the Diddy situation, but all over. Because when we hit a certain status, I'm telling you, like the gates just open up. You know? You saw it happen to Cosby. You see what just happened, what happened back then with Michael and with Prince and all them. And I'm telling you,
Tyler Perry attempting to purchase BET. See how that went down.
You know, Tyler, tread lightly. Oprah, tread lightly. Like these type, I'm telling you. I'm not trying to put no bougie out there, but you know, I'll let y'all talk from this point. But
I'm gonna respond before I let you come in, Earl. This is that conversation that people don't want to have about things, because if you say something the wrong way, all of a sudden you become a conspiracy theorist. Oh no, it can't be a weather. But you know, how many times do you have to step in shit to realize that it's shit? You know, if it smells like, you know, if it's, you know, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Or as Stephen A would say, it ain't a damn mongoose. And this is not to absolve anything that Cosby did or Kelly did,
not at all.
Leslie did, nothing like that. But the truth of the matter is, there are people that are in places now that they're allowed to be there. We are allowed to be in some of these, I mean, as far as our community, these places that individuals allow them to be in. And the thing that always become like this really combustible conversation is when you point out the group that's in charge of these certain things, everybody turns it into a hate thing. No, it ain't that. Whatever. I don't get it. It's just like saying, not all black people are bad. You're right. Not all white people, not all Jewish people are this. But when you pinpoint a certain thing, it's like, hey, the people who are in charge or who are involved in this situation are this. That's the fact of it. If this is from a military person, and shit just happened in Moscow. You saw what happened at the cinema. What, 100 some people got killed at a cinema. But we're going back to like the whole, to the things that's been going on in the Middle East. And people start looking at, you have like suicide bombings and stuff like that. And you start looking at things, you're like, you start looking at people different. You go through Baltimore, kind of like where I live at, stuff like that. You start getting this impression of that person. There is no person, no black, even billionaire that we currently look at that doesn't answer to somebody who is over them, including Oprah, including your Jay-Z, hell, including your Michael Jordan. And it's proven that if those individuals get too far out of, to Dave's point, too far out of what has been allowed for them, this is what happens. And Earl, I'm going to let you go after this. Jay-Z, crazy successful. Dr. Dre, crazy successful. Kanye, crazy successful. But who came before all of them? Sean Combs. Explain to me why Sean Combs wasn't the first billionaire on that list. Remember we talked about that? Remember, I think it was Jay-Z first. But remember, he came before them from Bad Boy and everything else. It's levels to that, unfortunately.
You'll see it. They're about to make money off of it. There'll be a documentary. Go ahead.
What you got?
So, let's see, where do I start? I think first and foremost, let me address what you said, Diddy, first. I ain't too mad. I agree. I think like there's a time where you could go overboard, and you gotta have a little bit of chill.
Yeah.
But the thing I will say about 50 is that he trolls. Like they not beefing actually.
He became famous off that. So
yeah, he trolls. That's
how he came in the game.
Yeah, that's what he do. So it's like I don't expect nothing less. And if you paid attention, like he been doing this to Diddy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't expect nothing less. And it's actually funny. Now, the other part of it is like, do I necessarily feel bad for Diddy? Not really. Not really. Who I feel bad for is his kids.
Yes.
Because,
two got arrested, man. Two got arrested.
They didn't get arrested.
They were in handcuffs. But what's crazy to me is that you cannot tell me that he didn't know that this was about to go down. Because he wasn't at none of those places, like none of those residencies. So you cannot sit up here and tell me that he didn't know. Which was what was even trash to me is that as a father, especially if you knew, why would you make sure you should have made sure that your kids wasn't there? You know what I'm saying? Just so that they wouldn't be subjected to that. Yeah. But your sons was there, and now they're on all on the news, handcuffed, and you look crazy because as you supposed to be their protector, you ain't even there, yo.
Right.
And you kind of look like a coward, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that's the part that's corny. That's why I'm like, I really don't have no, like I don't feel sorry for him. You know what I'm saying? Now, yeah, you're innocent until proven guilty. But I will say this. Karma is a motherfucker. And we all have our sins and things in that nature that we do. But I mean, Puffy has dodged a lot of shit. A lot of shit that he shouldn't have dodged. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's like the truth is coming to the light. Again, I don't know. I don't know if he did it or not, but I'm just saying, like, karma is a bitch. And like I said, at the end of the day, I think The shit that I got a problem with is that how he put his kids out there. Now, what's crazy or what's going to be interesting is what you see that comes out of this. You see, I just seen a video of the neighbor saying that 3 o'clock in the morning, he be having bus loads of young cats coming over there. He said, be wild. He said, basketball go over there. He don't even go over there. And anybody that grew up in a black neighborhood, y'all know shit. Especially if you got them wild ass neighbors, you like, nah, I ain't going over there, man. Right. Fuck that. Oh, they got a dog. Man, fuck that shit. They do like Sandlot. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then I wouldn't be surprised if you start hearing other people's names, because Diddy might be like Nino Brown. I don't know if y'all ever seen what was that? What movie was Nino in? New Jack City. When Nino got on the court, he was like, listen, if I'm going down, I'm taking everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like I said, it'd be interesting to see what comes of this. Like you said, you definitely could tell, like, I mean, he's definitely done people wrong. And I know he's trying to recreate himself and change his persona and stuff like that. And you know what? As many times as he's fell down, he's been able to jump back and bounce back, you know. Yeah. But if anything, let's say his name is cleared and everything pans out, or he gets out of this with just like a couple scratches, what he needs to really do, Diddy needs to just sit down and chill out. I'm also feeling like I think that this shit really is about to hit the fan just because of the things that he's done in terms of like with his businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like he's so revolt. He's lost a bunch of business deals. He's gotten rid of like shares and like he's unloading, you know. So you wouldn't do all of that if something, you know what I'm saying, something wasn't about to go down. You know, and I think he probably looking at it like, well, if I still own that, they're gonna seize that shit. I ain't gonna make no money, so I might as well sell it, get the money.
Or he got forced out.
Yeah, that too.
You're definitely gonna get forced out just because of the persona,
especially on the Ciroc side. They forced him out.
Think about it.
I think that
we've always said this, even on the Jonathan Majors thing. You can come out of it being innocent, you're still guilty.
You're still guilty.
Here's the thing with that, Earl. What you just said, and Dave said it at the beginning. For them to raid all 3 of his properties,
they got something.
He's not getting out of nothing, bro.
They got
now,
something.
The question is going to be, and this is where the quote unquote conspiracy part come in, because we don't know any stuff there, but we don't know any of this stuff, but we always hear where there's smoke, there's fire. Okay. But we also know that if you have a certain level of influence and a certain level of a bank account, that smoke/fire can be turned into just a false alarm. And it has happened with Diddy for years. And we also know, we know this without knowing it exactly. People tell their stories and people, we still consume the entertainment product. A lot of shitty crap happens in Hollywood. There's been, you can't ignore the things that you see, whether they're talking about Justin Bieber, whether they're talking about Usher and all this other stuff. And it's weird because people, they acknowledge it without saying it. They acknowledge these things without saying too much because, of course, they don't want to be burned. For anybody who has not already, go watch. There's a Netflix Netflix is on air documentary shit, but there's a Netflix documentary, I believe, they're talking about the shit that went down with the Nickelodeon kids from back in the day.
Yeah, and that wasn't on Netflix. That's right. Yeah.
And to Cat Williams' point, there's a reckoning that's happening because now I guess people are making money off of stuff, but at the same time, people are like, bro, look, hey, I'm just tired. I just want to let my stuff out there. So it's gonna be some who's trying to get their money off. Some of them like, yo, bro, they going through it. A couple of those kids, they killed themselves. They become alcoholics and stuff like that. The stuff that has been always talked about Diddy, it had been like rumored and people laugh about it. Like to you guys, but today's point, it's no longer a laughing matter. But if you haven't seen over the last year, that shit that popped off with actually a couple of years with Weinstein, then now Jeffrey Epstein. Now this shit's falling into Diddy's lap. It was only a matter of time. But the thing that you noticed the most about all this, and the same thing happened with R. Kelly, and similar to Bill Cosby as well. All this behavior was enabled because the money was coming in.
Yep.
And I'll equate that to in my line in my career of my second career of retail. Pre-COVID and prior to that, money just, people spending money. So companies don't pay attention to things like loss prevention as much, shrink. If you know what that is, if you're in retail, you know what that is. They don't pay attention to that much because the money's coming in. But when COVID hit, they're like, hey, we need to do an inventory on this. They're now, everybody's like, we need to pay attention to the money. Love it. I love it. So with Bill Cosby, Roseanne came out, the ratings of Bill Cosby started to go down. We're a different type of world. You saw what happened with that. R. Kelly, crazy enablers, but those numbers started to come down. Bad Boy and all that. The numbers for Diddy was crazy. The collaborations, everything else. I Need a Girl, all that.
Go down. Stay there for a second.
Go ahead.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
My thing is this, and this is where I have the biggest gripes about.
Mm-hmm.
With all these situations, with all these people,
right?
There's always that person that they, and I'm like, people were around them.
Yes.
Either round everybody up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? Well, not to go too deep on the R. Kelly thing, I always told y'all the thing that I was so mad about. I'm like, hey, you got a documentary with guards talking about they were outside the room. Why didn't you stop it? You're part of it. You let it happen.
It's their livelihood.
The parents were dropping kids off at the place. And
it's
you're in the documentary talking about, I couldn't get to my. I'll be damned. I ain't going back home. Like, what are we talking about? These type of things, I sit back and I'm just like, didn't you just, make yourself an accomplice within something that this person was guilty of? Weren't you there?
It was a kid. I forget, and he's one of the shows that we watched on Nickelodeon. The dad was the manager for this actor on the Nickelodeon documentary, and he was bringing up questions. He was like, "Hey, man, look, I don't like the fact that this producer's always around my kid and stuff like that." And he raised questions, so they put into this young kid's head that, hey, you shouldn't have your dad as your manager. He's trying to XYZ. He's stealing from you and stuff like that. So the son, evidently, he fired his dad. His mom, so the mom and the dad were not together, divorced. So she became part of it. So she was like oblivious to everything else. And it's like, but she was kind of like, I think this is happening. But at the same time, they didn't say anything because if they don't, you get blacklisted. That's your career. There's been a couple of actors, musicians and stuff like that. And they just went down for the bullshit. Hell, you can probably, again, look back into Cat Williams. As great as he is, as popular as he is, it's what you said, half of it jokes, but he said like he's not. I'm not gonna put that person's name out there, but he has not reached the level of other certain people in his profession. Maybe because he wasn't willing to go down that route, maybe or maybe not. But it's the same thing in acting. If you decide I'm gonna speak out about something, it's been proven that your career goes sideways.
I think though Diddy messed up because. Like they were saying, it was other people around, but I think he got too big for his bridges, and
he was one of them.
He forgot.
Yep.
He forgot that at the end of the day, right. in the words of the illustrious Paul Mooney, he had a complexion for the protection, and you got to always remember,
fellas. Do we not see it in just interviews that he's had?
Absolutely.
Yes. We're sitting there like, bro, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
Did you just say that?
Yeah.
You see the people sit up there like the one with Usher in there, and Usher's like, what the?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even Kevin Hart was like, yo, what? Nah, bro.
I ain't never heard. Even let's just talk about the business dealings. I'm talking about with the record company. I don't know too many people who. There's been more people that said, "Yo, he does bad business than good," Yeah. And like I said, then this is where I go back and I say like the karma situation. It may not be connected, but it's just in terms of the stuff that he's dodged. I mean, I don't know how many people have lost their lives that was surrounded by Diddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's funny because
that's wild.
Mace had made mention, and he was like, "Yo, I dodged, like I got out at the right time.
Yep.
Because I dodged the Biggie situation, I dodged the Sign situation, I dodged the Craig Mack situation. You know what I'm saying? And then he named a bunch of others. Then when I sat back and looked, I was like, damn, yo.
Look what happened to Danny Kane.
Danny Kane.
You know, 112 split bag.
Yep.
It's a lot.
It's crazy. But I mean, like I said, the thing that I'll be interested in, Dave, you hear that you was like, yo, there was people around him. Absolutely. And trust and believe. If Diddy go down, like I told you, if Diddy goes down, he's bringing some other people with him.
You know what's crazy about that, Earl? I don't even think that's gonna happen.
You know what? I'm gonna go on the Sean take because that's what I was saying. These people, sign off on what information you want.
Yeah,
as long as I ain't got nothing to do with
it. But here, I ain't gonna say no because also too, I feel like it's a multicultural or melting pot of people that could potentially go down. And I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say because at the end of the day, I was like, yo, you didn't see Trump. You didn't see this happening with Trump. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And you're not gonna see it happen in Trump. No. But Puffy probably got the same amount of money as Trump. Around the same amount of money. But he ain't got the same power and influence.
Exactly. The influence aspect.
And he ain't got the complexion for the protection.
And some people, they're not willing to give that up because I'm not going to mention names. And we can talk about this off mic. There's certain people out there that we revere that if you really look at them, you be like, oh, you're in that same spot. And I think we all know who I'm talking about. But certain people chose certain avenues. Like, you know what? I'm just going to rock with this. And again, that's where the conspiracy aspect comes in and people talk about it and people look at you like, you crazy. Brother, you pick your allegiances accordingly. And again, it goes back to the point. Puffy was around before all these other producers and whatnot like that. But somehow he ended up being the guy really on the low man on the totem pole. Think about it. He set the bar for every producer, artist who came after him. Yet, we know Ciroc, even with the Ciroc aspect, we never saw that Forbes headline. Sean, Diddy, Puffy, whatever you want to call him, Combs, has now reached billionaire status, which is a big thing in the hip hop community. He never reached that. And I don't think it's because he was wasting money. It was just the fact that it just was not him. And that just makes you question a lot of things. A lot of people are like, what does that mean? Just look at a lot of the things that's happening out there, man. And it's like, it's relationships, good or bad. All I say is, man, did they? I don't think he ever did, man. I don't think
I think he did.
Did he? Okay, maybe he did. Maybe
he didn't reach it as fast as Jay and
which
Dre.
Which
I
is
think
still
it was
crazy.
after them.
In any case, so that get away from all this, man. Like if and when he's convicted of this stuff, if you're guilty of any of this, you deserve all of the punishment that is coming your way for the shit that has been put on some of these folks. And for anyone who says, well, we know her name's out there, Cassie, who knows they should have got out of it. You don't understand the level of what mental abuse and control can do to a person. Look at the R. Kelly situation and stuff like that. That shit is
crazy. The crazy thing is, I wouldn't be surprised that because he got or potentially is about to get jammed up and not, more people might feel comfortable coming out.
That producer, Little Rod, is his name Little Rod or something like that?
Yeah, I heard about it.
He just filed a lawsuit, man.
That was in the making though. That was like
it's wild, man. And this stuff is all out there. It's a lot of stuff that's in there, man. Like people can take it for what it is, but
because he was complaining about it was something that he didn't get notoriety for the last, I think what's the album, the last album that
the Love album. The Love album.
That was what it's called, the Love album.
Yeah, the Love album. It's called Love. The last one that did it. Yeah.
But he didn't get credit for that. And he said that Diddy stole his shit.
All I know is this shit has to be uncomfortable for people who have always been connected to Diddy. This shit don't look good.
No, because I hope it ain't. Because I'm like, yo, at some point they probably just as wrong. Because they was like,
no. I'm talking about those who have been wronged allegedly by him, and we're talking about the.
You said you feel like it's uncomfortable?
Yeah, because you got to think about the Justin Bieber types, allegedly the Usher types.
I don't think they feel uncomfortable. I think some of them is getting relief. Like, yes, they finally got it.
Yeah, I guess that's just weird, bro.
I think the part of the uncomfortableness is they don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah. HOTSEED podcast with your boy Sean Earl Dave, episode 143. Do either one of y'all like beef and broccoli at all?
I just like my beef and broccoli boots. That's it.
Beef and broccoli.
I don't eat anymore, but used to,
yeah. Beef and broccoli. Hey, it's funny. You know what? You with me tonight, Dave. Beef and broccoli, Asian dish that's been around since the early 1900s. And eventually end up, becoming like one of the most popular American Chinese cuisines. They replaced broccoli. They put broccoli in.
That's bullshit. No, it ain't. Because if you're in the hood areas, it's usually chicken and rice.
Chicken fried rice.
Chicken fried rice or chicken and French fries.
Broccoli pie.
Chicken fried rice with the egg roll, bro.
The world is bigger than New York,
guys. Or you got to get your rib tips. New York. That come in the bag. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about.
These New Yorkers right here.
And a pizza on the side. Go ahead.
The broccoli part, it replaced Guyland, which is it looks like, it kind of reminds me of like a green, like a collard green type thing, but you couldn't find it a lot in the United States, so they replaced it with beef and broccoli. But again, and at any time, we don't, you guys can just add it in, the adjective when you want. You'll see what I'm talking about. Dave said he can no longer eat it because not a lot of people can digest beef. Go ahead, hit me with it. I know it's gonna come. I know. I'm waiting for somebody to say it already. I know. And then at the same time,
you got it.
And then and then on the broccoli side, for a lot of black people I know, broccoli is known to give you gas. Where am I going with this? So certain people can't digest beef, and some people, they eat broccoli, but it kind of gasses them up. And that takes us to this right here. Yeah, I've been thinking about this shit for the last few days, bro.
Beef.
There you go, man. And I put that part, not being able to digest beef. No Diddy, once again. Shout out to Quilly from out of Philly. The Drake fans mainly, they are not able to digest the beef that is going on right now with Lamar, Kendrick Lamar dropping his verse on Metro and Future's Like That track. And somebody who took I guess he just took some slight shots. It was J. Cole. And with that, I say, people get gassed up on certain things. That's the whole beef and broccoli aspect. But not realizing that this is what hip hop was founded off of. Well, not founded, but one of the big things was, hip hop is competitive. You go back to Roxanne, Shantae, and what's in there, and Marley Marl beefing with UTFO back in 1984. I ain't have to look that up. I remember that in my head. Beefing back then, and it was a diss track. And so Kendrick came out, does what Kendrick do. He took offense to a lot of the things that were said on the first person shooter aspect, specifically the whole big three aspect. And he said, fuck your big three. There's only big me, which I love that line. And a lot of the world is waiting for Drake to respond. And some people are in their feelings and they say stuff like, Kendrick ain't been out for several years. Mr. Morale and Big Steppers was dope at the end of the day for me. And he's given us 3 classic albums. That, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Damn. Can't put that against Drake.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
I've heard about this because I've seen it on social media and stuff like that.
Have you listened to the verse though?
Yeah, I listened to the verse.
Okay, I got you. Go ahead.
But what I was confused was that. So correct me if I'm wrong. The beef is with Drake and Kendrick.
It's really between Drake and Kendrick. They've had a beef since for like 10 plus years, and J. Cole is kind of like a byproduct of it because he kind of did the combination with him. So there you go. What you got?
But J. Cole said something in the verse.
Yes, he did.
Of first person shooter, and that's what Kendrick was responding to.
So first person shooter is a song that Drake and J.
Cole.
Yeah, you gotta listen to it. I thought you listened to it. Yeah, listen.
No,
listen to the. Don't worry about Drake's part. Go listen to J. Cole's verse.
Yes.
There's a part in there where he's talking about steppers as far as the Big Steppers album.
Yep.
Talking about the big three, but then after he says the big three, he says something to the fact of
like a Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Drake, basically. Right. I'm not even looking at Kendrick. I'm looking at Drake.
Right.
Like you ain't even in the picture, even though I said big three on the last line.
Right.
And it was one of those bars that you kind of slide in there, and unless you sit back and dissect it, you're like, oh, okay, the big three. And there's like, nah. He said big three, but then he kind of pushed Kendrick to the side.
Right.
And like, it's us. And that's why Cole came back, was like, big three. Nah, it's just big me. What y'all talking about?
Kendrick?
Yeah, Kendrick said that. He's like,
so, but I guess for me, I mean, I'm new. I didn't know that Drake and Kendrick had issues from a minute ago, but
go back and listen to the Control verse.
Yeah, I'm good. What wasn't Kendrick and Cole always cool though?
No, I mean, I'm not even going to say that they're beefing. What I'm saying to you is, well, first off, like Sean just said, this is part of hip hop. I love it, to be honest. Right. As long as it doesn't get out of hand, you know what we mean by out of hand.
Right.
Keep it on the wax and everything. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it because you need that
interesting.
competition.
Yeah.
I'm sick of the whole. It's what sports turned into, where you got to hug
my friend
hands at the game.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
We ain't gotta do that. We ain't got to talk together.
So then let's stay there then. So let's stay there then. Fuck it. All right. So I see what it is. Somebody in their camp probably was like, "Hey, yo, man, listen, y'all kind of dying off, and put a little bit of. All right, I say some shit. Boom. So if we had to, let's say all three of these cats is beefing, right? It seems like it's two pitted against one. I don't know, but let's just say everybody individually is beefing. This person has this person, that person. Me personally, I think these motherfuckers should both leave Kendrick alone because Kendrick is different. I think J. Cole is nice. Don't get it twisted. J. Cole is nice. You know what I'm saying? And Drake just needs to shut the fuck up all the way. Okay?
That's a consensus for a lot of people.
But Kendrick is different. Like he got bars. Where I feel like J. Cole, he got bars too, but it's different. It's like kind of in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like he got bars because even that Miss Huxtable shit.
Yeah, because I was about to say to you, the one person, if we're talking on a battle side of things,
right,
the one person that's dismissed is Drake. But on the J. Cole can hold his own.
Yes, no, he could.
On some spit. Now Kendrick has his own thing too. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But yeah, I'm definitely not going to dismiss Cole. I'll put it that.
No, I'm not dismissing Cole. But if y'all follow Dragon Ball Z, this is the best way I can describe it. Drake is Piccolo. J. Cole is Vegeta. And then Kendrick is.
That's gonna be you and Sean conversation.
Kendrick is Goku.
Yeah. Kendrick would be Goku. Yeah, you would be. You would be right. And no, because Piccolo trained Goku.
No, it doesn't matter. He trained him, but he can't beat him. He never.
I get that. Yeah.
No, like he trained him, but I'm just talking about in terms of there's levels. So I feel like Vegeta is nice if Vegeta can get busy, but if they fight, it might be a good one, but at the end of the day, fucking Goku always gonna come out on top. Pause.
Fans are in their feelings because the first thing they look at is, people don't know shit. They be like, well, Kendrick Lamar only doing this because he's trying to sell an album. He's trying to do this, whatever. Because they saw
that shit.
We don't because the last time we had a
he don't.
He don't either. He clearly don't, because
that's why he has those big gaps between the albums.
You know the part that makes me feel the worst about this, honestly, and I love him as an artist, bro. Big Sean. If you guys, Big Sean dropped this dope ass song the day before, and then the next day Kendrick did this shit. He was like, we forgot about it. And like I said, Earl, go back and listen to the Control verse. Control was supposed to be on the Hall of Fame album. Big Sean gave one of his best verses. That's when Kendrick came in and ethered every fucking body. And then everybody forgot about Big Sean. So I feel bad for him. But
are we really going to say that Big Sean is
no
in this conversation?
No, he's like he better than Drake.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. I was waiting for you to say that.
Yeah.
But Drake is on a different level.
Oh, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And that's what puts him in the conversation. It ain't a thing of you liking him or even respecting the verses, but Drake is.
And you know what? You know what Drake is now?
He's created his own lane.
This is the shit that it probably will. You might think the same thing. Drake is just to this generation what LeBron is. And Kendrick, his way of doing that will be what Jordan is. And what I mean by that is people, they negate all the other things. Like Kendrick Lamar, and correct me if I'm wrong, has 3 classic albums. 3 of the, and he hasn't done too many of them. He doesn't put out a lot of, he can do this every 5 years. Yeah. To Pimp a Butterfly, Damn, and Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Those are 3 classic albums, not including all of his features. You're looking at, for Drake, you're looking at, and it was more of a mixtape at the time, because I remember we were sitting at my house about 2010 when Thank Me Later came out. I think that's what it was, and we were like, ooh, we don't know what this is. Like, he's just done a lot of music, and sometimes less is more. But what I do hate about, to your point, is, and what Earl was starting on it, is people in their feelings because of what's happening now, and we fall into this place to where it's okay to have competition. Everybody doesn't have to get a trophy. They don't. Get out your feelings. Yeah, let's let them do this. Ain't nobody getting shot and nothing like that. You know, I expect J. Cole to respond. You know, Kendrick said what he says.
I would love it.
Yes. They showed Drake on stage, giving some affirmation about, nobody can't, ain't nobody can really fuck with him or nothing like that. But this is the part, if you really go back into their beef, and this, some people have said this, for Drake, and even though he's half black, half Canadian, he has been accused of appropriating the hip hop culture. You can take that for what you will, but he has been accused of that. I'm not talking about business dealings, because you're going to make bread, but what he's done. And depending on what side of the fence you are, you can understand that. And that's one of the main cusp of what Kendrick Lamar has his beef with Drake. His only, J. Cole just took some shots because he just happened to do a song with Drake. So he was like, hey, you can get it too. J. Cole is about that business. Yeah, I know he going to do something, but the Drake aspect, if he ain't learned nothing yet, that Pusha T shit, let him know real quick. They're not playing no games, bro.
Yeah, you got it.
No games.
At that point, they just like, listen, I ain't gonna see. Meek Mill is a little bit different.
Yeah,
Meek Mill is a little bit different. Yeah,
I love all that. Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see that kind. When Jay and Nas went at it, I loved.
Yes, it was
that
great,
joke, man. Yeah. Loved it. You know what I mean? And then Ether dropped it. And it was like, just stop. just this is one of the most classic things to ever be put down.
Jay-Z fucked up when he only diverted one verse on what was the shit?
Super Ugly or
not Super Ugly.
Not Super Ugly. He did a couple.
Super Ugly was the first one. That was that wasn't it.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Shit gonna bother me.
It's interesting, man, in this day. But what's even crazy is I didn't know. Of course, this has become a thing now. I challenge either one of you to go on social media,
take over,
and unfollow somebody and see what the fallout may be. Because since this has happened, Rick Ross, Aiden, something his name is. Of course, we're talking about Future. Some other people, they have unfollowed Drake. since this thing has happened because he hasn't responded. So I guess unfollowing somebody is the ultimate, like, I don't fuck with you no more. So
Drake could be fine.
And didn't Drake say he walking away from music?
Drake could be fine.
Man,
so did J. Cole said it too. He said what, 2 more years or something? Like, yeah.
But he still gives you this dope shit. Like, it's so much like you have to be built for this. It's one of the, you have to be built for this rap game, not hip hop, for the rap. The hip hop is the culture.
Once again, the fact that you're in this conversation,
right,
is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because there hasn't been that much excitement within that realm to me. So that's why I'm just like, let's go. Let's do it.
I'll tell you what, I almost want to say, I'll put the bat. Yeah, he said something about his mother. Hey, put the bat.
Just put it online.
You know what's crazy about it? Motherfuckers who's aligned with him, and maybe because he's older and he's maybe more mature and we're not, you would typically see somewhere around this time, you would see like Wayne, you know, he rocks with Drake hard. But there's certain people we all know, no Diddy.
Let him roll.
A lot of that.
Beef and broccoli, bro.
When you rock with somebody, you typically will come to their defense. Wayne don't want no problems with Kendrick because, again, Kendrick will go in and you be like, you know what? I'm not trying to embarrass myself. Like, it's a certain people that you really don't want to those problems with. Like, you know what? Let's let him have this.
Just know also, Wayne is another one that once he gets in his bag, and gets on something,
it's
different.
Now
it is definitely different.
Now we're talking about who's on whose side. So Drake would have Wayne. J. Cole would have all of Dreamville. He doesn't really have a lot of affiliations outside of that. But Kendrick has a very strong relationship with one, and everybody's debatable GOAT, Eminem. And we saw this shit could get real fun. It could, because I think Eminem has an album coming out. I think I saw.
He does.
So this could get real interesting. We remember the last time we saw something like that. So I don't see what
I don't think it would get to that point though. But
I mean, just the rapping, like, you know,
because just the fact of calling in cants, that means you lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They don't need all these people. You don't need all these outside
be like
people.
when Nick Cannon was trying to come at Eminem with his whole camp.
Yeah, he needed to check. Nobody took that serious.
It's not. It was no one did. No one.
Seen what he did.
I was like, did he just go get Charlie Clips?
You seen the aftermath of Benzino?
Yeah. And the only person, and it was probably his response was corny because of what happened. The only person that settled a quote unquote beef real quick. This is not something I'm making up. Was a little, if you want to call it, the tiff between Jay-Z and MC Hammer. No, the Jay-Z and MC Hammer thing from years ago. The response that MC Hammer, the response that MC Hammer had was, you know, whatever. But they solved that really quickly because that shit goes, to Dave's point, outside of music. Like, there's certain people they be like, hey, look, hey, we don't have to do them, you know, there's things that can go outside of this. So they resolved that really quickly, you know, even though MC Hammer should just never responded. He should just call Jay-Z and be like, hey, don't do that, because, you know, we can talk about some other stuff.
I didn't even know they had an issue.
Yeah, a while ago. It was weird. I'm gonna see the video and you'll be like, what the fuck was this? No.
I thought you was gonna say the on Wax, the Jay-Z and 50 Cent.
Yeah, that shit was easy.
I mean, he said I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 Cent? Yeah,
and I think 50 realized then, it was like, yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah, chill out.
I like the rap beats, man. Bring it on. I'm just waiting for J. Cole to say something. Drake, I don't know. He gonna do something light-skinned, which makes me feel bad. That's cool. This is the Hot Seat Podcast with your boy Sean, Earl, Dave. Y'all ready for some not so breaking news, man?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I gotta love it.
Not so breaking news.
All right, man. I don't know if y'all seen this, but I felt disgusted when this came about. McDonald's apparently is going to start selling Krispy Kreme donuts nationwide by the end of 2026. And so I'm pulling this from a CNBC article. Said McDonald's and Krispy Kreme are expanding their partnership to all of the burger chains. U.S. locations by the end of 2026. McDonald's first started testing selling Krispy Kreme donuts in 2022, which I was not aware of. Krispy Kreme would be more than double its distribution to reach McDonald's restaurants nationwide. They're planning to sell the donuts at its restaurants. I don't even know how to feel about this because I love Cracky Cream. Shout out to Chris Rock. But really, that's what we're doing now, huh? Like
they're just doubling down on the cancer, I guess.
So
diabetes, cancer, all that shit.
Right.
Okay, hold on. I wasn't even expecting this. All right. This caught me way off guard. This is really not some regular news.
Right.
So why don't you focus on getting people's orders right before you add shit?
Man,
why don't you get the ice cream machine fixed before you start adding shit? Why don't you figure out your pricing of why something that comes with a sausage is less than something that doesn't
come on now, because you bet. Come on now,
I don't get it. I don't. Somebody, why are we focusing? Why don't you put the McRib on the menu forever, permanently? What? Oh my god! I don't.
Why don't y'all have all the cup sizes when I go there? Because every time I get there, we ain't got no medium cups. All we got is largest.
Bruh, it don't matter. You don't see the video? The small and large are the same thing.
Yeah, just the ice. Just the ice, bro.
It's the cup. It's narrower.
Oh, yeah, true.
Large.
Why does my favorite donut maker want to align
with
this trash ass company, bro? Like, this shit's not even what?
And then it's not going to be fresh. That means it's just sitting there.
Like,
hold on.
You ain't not too hot now outside.
Let me tell you something. Not too much on McDonald's, because as much as I try not to eat that crap. What I do like from McDonald's is the breakfast sandwiches. I do like their breakfast sandwiches, even though my only gripe, like Dave said, is that you could get the 2 for $6, right?
Sausage, huh?
But Lord, if I tell them I want 2 sandwiches and you take the meat off, pause.
I told you, they're
charging me regular price for the. I can't get the 2 for $6, which don't make no sense.
So you charging regular price for the meat? That's crazy. That's weird.
This is upsetting the hell. This is disturbing me more than you know. Like, oh my god,
what is this, man?
So is this replacing the cookies? Because remember they McDonald's had the cookies.
Man. Yes, they can replace them raw ass cookies. Every time I get chocolate chip cookies from McDonald's, them shits ain't even fucking done, bro. So you got worms or salmonella or some shit later because they only cook them shits all the way.
God, man, I don't
even, you know, it's crazy. I don't know what states they've been doing this in because I haven't seen it over here in
Maryland. I haven't seen
it in the hood spots.
But they're expanding it. So they said the pilot has expanded to roughly 160 restaurants, Louisville, Lexington, Kentucky, of course, places that we don't go to. Those initial restaurants will keep selling the donuts during national rollout. I've seen Krispy Kreme donuts at places like Royal Farms and gas stations, and them shits don't be fresh. And you expect to Dave's point, them shits to be fresh at McDonald's?
Shit,
I think Dunkin' Donuts nuggets.
Dunkin' Donuts fucking donuts don't be fresh after a while. Like shit.
But you know what's crazy about that though? With this partnership, the Krispy Kreme, their stocks, their shares, they soared 40% on Tuesday from this announcement.
That's crazy. I mean, despite how we feel and think, let me tell you something. Who loves McDonald's? Kids, adolescents.
Moms on the go.
But kids and adolescents. And you telling me, especially those McDonald's that's strategically put by a school.
Yeah.
Man, they ain't got no money for a burger and all that, but they're gonna have money for a donut.
So now you're gonna have value meals with a donut.
Yeah. Or you can get you could get a Happy Meal. You want a donut or you want some apples?
You know what? You know what it means? That means they're gonna come out with those sandwiches where you got the bun's gonna be the donut.
And what was that from? And what was that from? Who called this?
I seen on IG with that ass. I said, I seen. Oh my god, bro.
Who called this years ago?
What's gonna happen?
What black TV show, black cartoon called this years ago?
I don't even remember, bro.
The Boondocks.
Boondocks.
The Boondocks.
What's gonna happen that first time you go?
I'm about to say anybody calling it would be the Simpsons. If it happens on the Simpsons, it's gonna happen.
The Boondocks called this years ago.
Oh my god!
Because they had the burgers and the donuts, and they was like people had and they had put beds in the restaurant because people had the itis.
Oh no, you can go there for the first time. They're gonna be like, "We're out of glazed donuts." What the fuck you mean we out of glazed donuts, bro?
That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen.
Can I get a ice cream and a glazed donut? Oh yeah, the machine's broke.
The machine broke. Yeah.
That's the worst when you roll up to like Dunkin' Donuts and they be like, "Yo, we out of this." Well, how long to wait? Nah, we just ain't got it. Wait a minute, wait. So, like, y'all can't even make these jobs.
Oh, with the Popeyes ones, they said, "Man, we all out of chicken." Why the fuck are y'all open then? Why you open? Why you open? I don't know why you're here right now. That's why they got rid of that black lady who was doing those welcome to the WB commercials.
She aggravated me. I'm mad how they use this. It was very ancient mind.
Let's get off this before we start saying some shit to get us canceled. Yeah. I hope this don't get us canceled. Welcome to the Hot Seat Podcast. Sean, Earl, Dave, episode 143. So we all take part in this. And it's fun when you win. But there was only a matter of time when you start to see these type of things happen, even though these seem to be two isolated incidents, which I'm probably sure that it's going to be more than this. Sports betting. Sports betting has gotten huge, from FanDuel to DraftKings to what's the other ones, guys? I don't even know these other ones that they do out there. And these daily fantasy show, joints or something like that.
You said the biggest ones. Those are the biggest ones.
But with that, and so much so that once these sports leagues decided to normalize sports betting, it was only a matter of time before things was going to start to happen. So much so that now our favorite sports broadcast company, ESPN, now has ESPN Bet. Like they're in bed with all of these betting companies. So you knew it was going to happen. So something that has come up in the last few days was two betting situations or scandals, like they call it in the media world, with Shohei Ohtani, possibly the most popular player in Major League Baseball, playing for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and most recently Jonte Porter for one of the worst teams in the NBA, would be in the Toronto Raptors. Quickly, Shohei Ohtani, his former interpreter who they fired, it came out, they found out that there was some money that was wired from Shohei Ohtani's personal account that was sent to an illegal bookie in LA, which in California, sports betting is illegal. It's one of like the 12 states, I believe, that are still illegal. One of 12 states that are still legal. And it came out, they're saying it was a theft. He stole it. He had access to his account, yada, yada, yada. And then Jonte Porter, who is a guy who gets very, 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 very little minutes on the Toronto Raptors. And the NBA is looking into irregularities regarding bets that were placed when he played around January, and then most recently March 20th. And I don't know if he played when we saw him the other night in Washington. But I'm going to ask you guys, do they have a problem on their hand in general? I haven't seen nothing from the NFL yet, even though they did suspend, what was his name, last year or the year before last for betting. Wasn't Calvin really? It was the other guy.
Last year, it's two guys from the Dolphins. I mean, from the Lions. From the Lions.
Yeah. Does sports have the sport leagues? Do they have a problem with them being in bet with these betting companies, man?
Well, let me answer that in two parts. Number one, they've always had a problem with betting. Now, I mean, betting wasn't just put out there. It's just the ease of betting now has been put out there because you could do it right from your phone.
Right.
But are they definitely going to have a problem? Yeah, because people are people, and people want to make money, and money is going to make people do some crazy things. Yeah. So on the two parts that you're talking about, like Shohei Ohtani, I gotta wait for this to play out, because the one part you didn't say in there is the interpreter at first had responded back saying Shohei Ohtani was actually helping me out with me being behind on bets.
My man's got me.
And my thing is this: there was a paused response within there, and then they came out, was like, we ain't got nothing to do with this. He stole the money. And the first thing that popped in my mind, anybody that knows anything about baseball, I was like, they about to stop this man from being any type of Hall of Fame because you can't talk about him.
Yep. Talking about
not Pete Rose in.
Yep.
So they tried to nip that in the butt quick. I'm not saying what way it went or whatever, but he put that out. That was his response, the interpreter's response. Like, he was just helping me out. He didn't actually place the bets, but he was helping any type of relationship within that.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, it's done. And their biggest star ever is done. So you saw that cleaned up so quick. He was out and all that time because, mind you, this was going on during the time period that there was major focus on them because they were playing overseas. They were playing, I want to say, in Japan. A series. So, man, I'm gonna follow that story. As far as like the Jonte Porter story, that he was placing, they were like, bruh, like these are the ones that like Earl and I be on the joint, like, oh, so and so ain't even on the ticket because they ain't even supposed to, like, you don't need
to play.
Play. So
you're like 13th on the roster.
The stuff. So for him to place some of these bets and talk about the under and stuff like that, like, bro, you kind of knew.
Well, he didn't place the bets. People who placed the bets on him.
No. But I'm saying, like, he kind of knew. Hey, they were saying to the point of him saying he was taking himself out. I was like, you already don't play. Who are you to walk up to the coach like, coach?
No, they said they had multiple players anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 bets on him. I think they say he averaged like 3 to 4 minutes, bro.
Because just because he didn't place the bet doesn't mean he didn't place the bet. You get what I'm saying? It just means it went through somebody else. I know Earl.
Yeah.
And I'm playing in a sport. Earl places the bet. All of a sudden, I'm not in that game. And Earl bet the under. I placed the bet. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that one is more like, come on, bro. Like, you didn't talk to nobody.
So obvious. Like,
nobody placing a bet on you. Like, when his name came up, I was like, who is this?
Eddie light skin. You fucking up. You and Drake fucking up right now. They both from Canada too. This shit is wild right now. I don't even like it right at this point. I don't even like it.
But is there a problem? They're gonna have to figure it out because it's the ease that's out there. And it's not gonna stop.
It's not.
It's not going nowhere.
The problem that they have, man, is the moment that these leagues decided they wanted to get in bed with these companies was the moment that I don't know if they realized that, you guys have opened up a can of worms because this shit's gonna happen, bro. Like, you got fans and you see players respond, even in the NFL. Fans be getting upset because your favorite player didn't get that. Hell, we've all done it. Hey, we needed one more catch to get that parlay. You've seen fans go on social media, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, whatever, be going after star players like, bro, you messed up my parlay. And you see the players respond back with like, fuck your parlay. I think I even seen like Lamar Jackson say that before. I'm trying to win a game. But this is what these leagues signed up for when you decided you wanted to make your bed with these betting leagues. Like, all money ain't good money, bro. It ain't. All money ain't good money. And then we talked about it in the chat. What's even worse, you had a guy, and I think you might have saw it, Earl, a dude, he placed a $2 bet, $2 parlay, and he won, but like it was like $1,200, $1,500, and then he was out of Louisiana, and child support came in. Like, no, we need all that, bro. We need all that. We need all that. It's become a problem, man. I don't know. What's your opinion, man? Is this legalized betting? Or I have no problem with it, but the fact that it's being pushed so hard, is this a good thing? Like, is this a good thing for sports in general?
I mean, in terms of like the players, like doing it.
No, I mean, in general, like, because you got to think about Tim Donaghy and all that. I know it was illegal then, but the fact that states was like, I remember we was excited when it happened in Maryland, Dave and I. But the fact that now it was one thing for them to be like, okay, you can play DraftKings and FanDuel, but now you can't watch one of your favorite broadcasts without them doing a commercial for whatever sports betting, whatever. Is this a good thing for sports? Because we watch sports in the NFL because we love the game. But imagine if you're watching the Giants game and you can clearly see, and this is a shout out to what the movie Blue Chips, that your favorite player at the time when he was there, Saquon Barkley, was shaving points. You know, is this a good thing? Because you're starting, you know, this has been a couple of issues already. NFL, I think you said 2, NBA 1, Shohei Ohtani, who's a crazy name, and you see how they handle things in baseball. Is this betting thing a good thing for sports?
I mean, no, it's not. You know, it's not. But I mean, it's also something that's never going to stop because it's always been here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just, I think the players need to be careful because if you look at it, shit, ain't no big time players wasting their time doing this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Ain't no big time. I mean, because at the end of the day, especially in the NBA, like the money that you're getting. Now, football, I can understand. But, I mean, if anything, I look at it like this. If you sitting up here and you're saying, yo, I'm guaranteeing you I'm going to get 2 catches, 25 yards, like, put it down. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you have an investment like I do, I actually feel comfortable with that because like now you're gonna make the effort to get that so we can wait. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that. But if you're sitting up here like, nah, it's gonna be 68 over the under 68 yards over under 68.5, and you're like, yo, we gonna take the under. Yeah, now I'm feeling some type of way because it's like, yo, now you're purposely doing this. You drop passes.
It already happened. What game was that, Earl? And Sean, I believe it was like an NFL game or something last year when there was like a team. There was a spread. I may be saying it wrong. There was a spread to be hit, and the team didn't kick the field goal or something at the end to either cover. There was something like that.
Wasn't that the Raiders? Because the Raiders. No,
it
no,
was
you
the
know what it
weirdest
was?
thing.
The Raiders could have beat. They could have beat the record. They could have beat.
You're right.
Yeah, they could have beat the record or whatever.
Raiders
It was like the highest. It was like they needed like 73.
No, but there was something else. There was an actual bet,
right,
where somebody could have like kicked or something, and they didn't do what would regularly happen at that point.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Put it that way. It wasn't going to change the game, but it definitely changed the bet.
Yeah,
if you get what I mean. Whatever way it was, I would have to do some research on it. But I remember it. I didn't bet on it, but I was like, man, you telling me they don't know the line to make that decision? They didn't know the. Come on, man.
They knew the line.
Because I put it to you guys this way. Your team is winning, right? They're winning. They're going to win a game. They're down. It's fourth quarter because we're talking about NFL. That's something that we watch. It's a minute, some change. They have the ball. Typically, you would think, actually, you know what? It happened in the Miami game. The one I saw about last year. Miami was going to be winning the game. I forgot what team it was, and they should have downed the ball. And what they decided to do was run the ball. They ended up fumbling it. I think it was Clemson. They ended up taking the fall by and they ended up losing that game. But let's think about if you're watching a Giants game, I'm watching a Washington game. We're clearly winning the game. And someone decides that, you know what, I'm trying to hit this line number. So they end up throwing that last pass or calling that last play. And to hit that, you know, whether it's yardage, whatever the case may be, and that player ends up getting injured. All in the sake of, because we're trying to bid this line. Because you can see kind of how this thing could go. It's almost like it was cool when weed was not legal, because in some neighborhoods you didn't see all these goddamn vape shops around this bitch. Now, since weed has been legalized in a lot of states, there's a vape store on every damn corner like it was 7-Eleven in the 90s. So is it really a good thing that they legalize weed? Because I feel like since they legalized weed, we never knew nothing about fentanyl when it was illegal. Just saying. I'm just saying. let's roll right into our last thing for the night, man. Before we get out of here, because we got to give this some just due. March Madness. March Madness has been just that, madness. It has been some crazy upsets into the bar that Dave shared with us last episode. You know, I want to see some upsets. Loosely quoting, nothing's gonna upset me. Love it. That's a bar. That's a bar.
Still stand by it. Still stand by it.
And we've seen so much happen, so much so, man, that they, from the women's side, the first 2 rounds of the women's NCAA tournament, it easily breaks last year's attendance records. So they were talking about that was the first 2 days of it, up 292,000 at the 16 sites hosting games. I didn't know this. So the women's NCAA tournament, they host their first games at 16 different schools, and those are by the 16 top ranked schools. So I realized the other day, like Virginia Tech had a home game, which is dope, but on the men's side, they only do 8 hosting sites. So that's something I would like to see for the men's. Like, hey, if you got a top rank, like, hey, Carolina should get a game hosted at home, something like that. But I've also saw in the same time that this year, overall, the men's side, there's a record-breaking viewership for the NCAA men's tournament, even though we don't know nobody who play on these goddamn teams. So far, I don't know about it. But this is
you don't know what's bad?
Yeah.
I've heard about some of the things through highlights in our chat, but I haven't watched a men's game yet.
I'm gonna watch Carolina, but that's about it. JMU.
Well, that's because it's your team.
Yeah. What have you guys taken away from the tournament so far, though? You know, I mean, as far as men's or women's, and I'm rocking with the ladies, but what you got?
I think in just be quick, like NCAA men's basketball is trash. Even like the kind of like the consistent guys, the ones that we always know, like especially as of the last 10 years. At least, like the Kentucky was out.
Right. Yes.
Carolina and Duke ain't the same. They don't got that same pizzazz. You know what I'm saying? UConn is still there, doing their thing. But then you got all these other teams, like you ain't even know. I'm literally looking because I'm in the pool. And I'm like, damn, this school is in it? This school is in it? So I didn't even know. So it's trash. I think the women's side is way more exciting. And I think that's good basketball. It's good basketball over there.
Like I've already said, I haven't really paid attention to the men's side. I have seen some highlights, a couple of the upsets, things like that. But yeah, I'm just fully invested on the women's side. South Carolina. Watching what's the name? Juju Watkins from USC. Oh man, I mean, just I'm watching teams like who was I watching?
Even the big girl that put up, what was it, 40 or 50 the other night?
I saw that.
Cooks from Iowa State, love it, man.
I was watching.
Sorry, I don't know her name, so I'm sorry.
I was watching Notre Dame just as a unit. They were looking good. I mean, it was on point, man. I was excited just watching them play. Once again, hands down to NBA 2K, because when I sit back and I watch how these women are playing, I'm like, nah, bro. The way that they're represented in that game, I'll always say it until they get it right, because there's no way. There's no way. But yeah, I mean, I'm just excited on that side of watching basketball. I'll probably start peeping into the men's side a little bit, but excitement all on the women's side.
I want to give this opportunity. I want to give take this opportunity, man, to salute Dave one more time. His take that he gave last episode, episode 4, like we were talking about South Carolina. We were talking about Dawn Staley.
Yeah, man.
The South Carolina squad. People don't realize that the South Carolina team they played UNC, if I'm correct. Their bench outscored the UNC team.
Yeah.
Starters.
Yep.
There are players on the South Carolina bench that would be starters on any other team in the country.
That is correct.
And they walked into that situation knowing that, hey, I could be a starter elsewhere, but they wanted to play at South Carolina under Dawn Staley. They didn't want to go to LSU. Shout out to, whatever Kim Larkin, and she had her own shit going on with her, and that's going to be interesting because there's a story potentially coming down with Washington Post, and I'm like, oh, okay. So that's a whole nother situation we talk about. Dawn Staley, man, again, today's point, is doing something that surpasses what they did in UConn and everything else, because she's developing players like there's not. I mean, that's not the poo-poo on, the coach for UConn. I can't remember his name. I can't pronounce this. I ain't gonna do him like that. But she has something that she's building in South Carolina that's not getting enough attention, and hopefully it will. They win that championship. You have no other choice but to acknowledge what they happening down it with the Gamecocks, man. So salute one time to them. And I made sure I posted that clip where Dave was talking about it, because they ran through Carolina, the women's side. I was like, God damn. And they just solid, man. Again, I said salute to the young lady, Audi Crooks, who played for Iowa State. She balled out until they got eliminated over the halftime. She lost her dad. She's at 16. She's a freshman, and she did a 40 and 20, man. And if you guys don't mind me saying this, fuck out of here for all you whack ass people on social media who has something stupid to say about her. The world that we live in right now is real fucked up. I hate the fact that people get today's point. There are kids out there who are not they are not mature enough to have a phone or Facebook, Instagram. There are grown ass people who are not mature enough to have that, because the comments and stuff that I saw on Twitter and shit like that, they talking about her. I wish that was my sister, because I would run up on one of y'all motherfuckers, really, because that's
social media thugs, man.
Yeah, man. Like,
won't say nothing in person.
Nothing.
But talk all the shit in the world also.
She's 6'3" and some change. She's 6'3", and I ain't gonna say about her weight, but she will body a few of y'all corny ass people out there, man. But she's
talking about the sister that put up like 40 points.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, man. Yeah. Like, man, people was on the junk and saying
talking bad about
shit, man. I'm like, fuck out of here, bro. Like, people get on my fucking nerves, bro. But the women's tournament has by far been the best one, even though, I mean, more people watch the men's tournament because, with all the betting stuff like that, but the women's tournament has been it. So again, to what you guys just said, the WNBA needs to capitalize on this.
Listen, just please give me Iowa against LSU. It may happen.
It may happen. Yeah.
just give me that. Give me USC against UConn.
Mm-hmm.
It may happen.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things that if they happen, man, this thing, when it gets down to like Elite 8 and Final 4, my God, it's gonna be something. Give me South Carolina and Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's sick.
WNBA, take notice. This is your opportunity to capitalize on this. You got Caitlin Clark coming in. You got Angel Reese coming in. You got all these players coming in, and put your stock into that. Talk about them more. Like, whatever you guys need to do, man. They are solid, and they are fundamentally sound. They're better than the guys, bro. Like, they play ball. This shit that the guys be doing ain't it. Shout out to Jordan Poole one more time. That shit's trash, man. That I'm just saying what I said. And I said it because, whatever. The Hot Seat Podcast with your boy Sean Earl Dave, man. This podcast won't be what it is if we hadn't taken our podcast or our conversations from Xbox Live chat over to the podcast space, where we're giving you guys all this great content that we do on day to day. So, of course, you guys can hit me on Xbox Live at Sinai2X. I have played MLB The Show 24. I know my guy, the storyteller, does not support any game that does not have an online franchise, but I will tell you this though: the game is dope. The game, a single player, like this is their first iteration into the next gen system. And I sent Dave the clip. I showed it to the missus, and she was like, "Oh, what game were you watching?" I said, "No, that's the game. That's the game I'm playing." It's like it's clean.
I just want to put this out there.
Yeah,
I believe the game is the shit, because I believe last year's game was awesome.
It's even better.
That's what pissed me off more.
Yeah.
Why do you have a sports game like this?
Right.
On a console that now you have what they call it, multi-platform or whatever, that you cross-platform.
Yeah.
And you don't have an online league. Like, no sports game should not have an online league.
Yes.
So with that, to me, it's one of those things I'll get mad at. I'm definitely going to play it. I already have it downloaded. I pre-downloaded it before.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play it. The Negro League is in it, right?
Yep, it is.
All right, so I'll check out different things, but I can't get. All I was saying to you through the text was I can't get hyped.
Oh, I'm with you. I was
because
I was on YouTube trying to find it, see if somebody had found a way to do it, and they haven't. I'm like, I was annoyed too because I really wanted to do that.
It's an easy thing that they could clear up with a patch. That's patchwork. Like, come on, man.
It's dope. You can do your facial scan though. You can do. Remember when we used to do the facial scan on EA Sports?
Yeah, we used to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that now because I need a beard in my game. But you know what I'm saying. So not 2X.
Okay. So I'll do my patchwork. All right. I got you.
What you got, man? What you got, Dave? What you got?
The storyteller. Not much, man. Not on the video game tip. It's more on the fact of just waiting for this X-Men, bro. Waiting for this X-Men episode 3. We'll definitely be having a hot take coming out. So, yep, definitely be watching that first thing in the morning. And then probably take him to go see Kong and Godzilla. Probably on Friday.
That looks hard. That looks hard. No, Diddy.
Yeah.
NJ Fat Boy 973. Yeah, same. I actually been watching X-Men 97 because I used to watch it when I actually watched it. I actually watched it when I was younger. And I ain't even asked you, Sean. I was like, nah, I remember that. Like, I remember that.
He don't know nothing about this, bro. He don't know nothing about that. Like, that's just.
He was watching it though. He liked it.
It's dope.
I was like, oh shoot. When I heard the intro, the song, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
it took me back. So, it's dope.
So, how'd you feel without going too far in it at the end of episode 2? Did y'all have the same gasp?
I didn't finish watching episode 2, so you can't talk about it.
Yeah. So I was like,
it's a hot seat.
I'm like, they actually doing this? So
yeah, they're doing it.
Yeah, they definitely are, man. So, of course, man, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seed Podcast. Subscribe on the YouTube channel at the Hot Seed Podcast. And, of course, if you haven't already, make sure you check out the HotSeedPodcast.com, our newly launched site, which will allow you to subscribe or become a supporter of the show with the Hot Seed Podcast Plus. Give you 20% off of our exclusive merchandise, our signature graphic tee, and, of course, our THP golf polo. And more importantly, it gives you access to our upcoming NFL draft, 2024 NFL draft watchcast on April 25th, man. It's going to be a fun time. Such in there. We appreciate you guys tapping in with us. Yo, it is the Hot Seed, and I believe we are out. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we're out.
HOTSEED.